I saw you when I walked in. It looked like you had been there a while. My cart was empty save for the soda I threw in as I walked by the sale right inside the door. You already had your cart half full of food. And a crying baby. And another child, dragging his feet as he prepared to throw a tantrum. Your son, I assume, is about 4? I saw your frustration mounting with his behavior. I wasn't following you intentionally. We both just needed breakfast goods, I guess. You bought corn pops, which I agree with your son are the worst of the breakfast cereals. He wanted Cocoa Puffs. I'm a Frosted Flakes man myself, but I picked up Cocoa Puffs too. Next was the chips aisle. You brought pretzels, the small twists. I don't know, I always prefer the rods. The salt ratio is better. I heard you try to hush your child. The baby doesn't know better, but Derek does. You aren't pleading yet. That will come in 3 more aisles. For now, you were stern. I bought ramen while you buy Campbell's. I shared Derek's distaste for tomato soup. It does taste like warm ketchup. His tantrum is growing. He's pulling on the sides of the carts, yelling, "Earthquake!" and terrifying the baby. You scold him loudly, and he hangs his head. I, too, share a love of natural disasters, but I prefer hurricanes. I like that we name them. It's comforting to give destruction a name. Now I am following you. I'm interested in Derek's story. I watch as you fill your cart with food. I'm so distracted, but I almost forgot to buy crunchy peanut butter. My children, they love the crunchy kind. I love smooth, but a parent's love, right? We all make sacrifices. I see Derek try to sneak Capri Sun into the cart. He isn't very stealthy yet. You yell at him and rip the box out of his hands. Once you scoot forward, I pick up the box and put it in my cart. I'll be honest, I got distracted for a few minutes. I needed to go to the baking aisle. I promised my kids we would make funfetti cake. I don't know what happened, but when I emerged, you were at the corner where the baby clothes and food met. Derek was crying, and you were yelling and almost in tears yourself. You turned and walked away. You left Derek crying as he sank to the floor. You were only going to go a few aisles and turn back, hoping he had learned his lesson. I've seen it before. I understand. But you should never do that. Did you know that Derek has a very feminine face? You let him grow out his hair. I think he would look good as a blonde. Many girls are doing the pixie cut these days. I have an extra dress just his size in my truck. It has Anna and Elsa on it. Kids love Frozen. I could scoop him up and hug him. I'd comfort him. Promise to get him some soda and candy. We would be gone before you got to the appointed turn-around aisle. He would love my red truck, as all my kids do. When they open the glove compartment, it's filled with toys. I think Chase left his Game Boy on the seat again. Derek could play with it. Derek is too harsh a name for such a delicate child. I like Savannah. You see, the Amber Alert will be looking for a boy with shaggy brown hair, blue jacket, gray Batman shirt, jeans, and Converse. Savannah won't match. She will love her new brothers and sisters. We're making funfetti cake today. I have too many children right now. It is hard to feed a family of 7. Savannah will have to wait. I'm writing this to process my thoughts and calm down, because I'm getting a little freaked out. There's the normal shit you see at Walmart, and then there's this. So first things first, I got here about half an hour ago because I had a serious craving for Cheez-Its, and now I can't leave. I parked, got out, found my snack, paid for it, and couldn't get out the doors. Like, they just wouldn't open. I tried all the exits. The 2 cashiers watched me and just grinned. They didn't help or say anything at all. They had the creepiest smiles. I can't unsee it. Okay, I'm going to try to go home again. Nope. Still can't leave. I even tried the emergency exits, but they won't budge. I ran into one of the night stalkers this time. She gave me the same creepy-ass grin as the cashiers and said I smelled really good. That was weird because I don't wear perfume and I use unscented soap and shampoo. The signal on my phone just went out. No reception or 4G. Shit, I should have called my brother to pick me up when I couldn't get out the front doors. So I had a crazy idea that I'm starting to worry isn't so crazy. Last week, my best friend got a book about monsters and other paranormal stuff from the way too freaking early Halloween display. I ran over to check something from the book, but when I grabbed it, another night stalker came over and took it from me. A really tall, pale black guy. Like he had African features and dreads, but his eyes and skin were light, like he hadn't lotioned in forever. I didn't hear him come up from behind me. He just put a hand on my shoulder, turned me around, and took the book out of my hands. Then he put the rest of the books on his cart and walked off. His hand was freezing, and I've been cold since then. Currently, I'm camping out in the cooking aisle. I laid down a really thick ring of the finest garlic powder Walmart has to offer, and I haven't seen anyone since. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure Walmart hires vampires to work their night shift. I'm okay for now. But I'm going to have to figure something out to get me until sunrise. Shit. I saw one of their cashiers from before, all the way down at the bakery, but they just hissed at me. Originally, I was writing this to calm myself down. But I think it's more like a record just in case. New plan happens now. Hopefully this won't be the last entry. I'm typing this as I work, because God do I need a distraction. I'm scattering mason jars of my blood around the store, and bleeding myself really hurts. I'm really hoping the fact that there's less blood in me will make it harder for me to smell, and maybe if the vampire gets to drink some of it, they'll be less hungry for the real thing. This is my third jar, and I had to make a second cut because the first clotted up. Fuck. The first jar is in the meat fridges. I'm hoping the beef will keep the vampires extra busy. I put the second on top of a Pillow Pets display. I haven't decided what to do with this one. I'm hoping I can make a fourth, but I'm not sure. I don't want to make myself too weak. Once I'm done, I'm going to eat some cloves of garlic and hope the smell and the lack of blood helps me hide. Oh dear fuck, the lights just went out. You know those displays of inflatable kickballs? The colorful ones in PVC pipe and wire containers near the toy section? You know how when you were a kid you always wondered what it would be like to climb inside one? It's not much fun. Although maybe it's better when you're not nearly exsanguinated, terrified, and munching raw garlic. My phone cast enough light for me to find my way here, but I had a hard time climbing in. My cuts reopened and they're starting to bleed through the bandages I made out of pant legs. Once the lights went out, I didn't really want to chance a trip to the pharmacy for bandages. I just hid in the first place I found. I really hope they clot up because I don't want to start to smell blood or bleed out. I'm starting to get really... The account of this experience ends here. The police have opened an investigation pertaining to Qualls' injuries. In an official statement, the 12th and Pine Walmart general manager responded in confusion saying, "I don't know how this happened. While most Walmart locations are open 24/7, ours closes at 11 p.m. and reopens at 6 a.m. Our stalkers leave by 1:30 a.m., so by all official accounts, the store should have been locked and completely empty by the time Miss Qualls said she had entered. Police have also confirmed that all employees of the 12th and Pine Walmart were elsewhere during the time of the incident. Searching through transaction records, investigators found a single box of Cheez-Its were purchased at 2:21 this morning, in line with Qualls' account. Police are unsure of how this is possible, as Qualls is the only one shown entering the Walmart during closing hours on security footage. The FBI has been called in to assist the investigation. Vivian Qualls, 22, was hospitalized early this morning for severe blood loss. Her current state is unknown. We hadn't really been talking for most of the drive, but I finally leaned up in between Davis and Vaughn and asked as politely as I could how close we were. They just shrugged. Boys, they never have any idea about anything. I slumped back against the fabric seats of the Toyota. The warm cloth felt hot against my back, even though it was cold for April. The sun warms everything. The landscape slipped by. Everything we drove by was cars and highways and stores. I think Vaughn said, "We're here." "I don't see anyone," said Davis. "It doesn't matter," I told them. "We're here." The car pulled into an empty spot in a massive empty parking lot. In front of us, the long, flat Walmart loomed. Behind the building, I could see the sky with streaks in it from planes leaving the airport. We walked to the closed doors of the supercenter. Behind the doors, everything was dark. Miles of shelves were empty. "I can't believe it happened here," Davis said. "All those people." I pulled out my phone and started filming. Today is the first anniversary of the incident. Over 600 people died. "This was the first incident," I said, walking backward like a college tour guide. "We didn't know what it was when it happened. We still don't, but we've seen it happen again and again and again all through America. The same horrible thing." Vaughn and Davis followed me. Vaughn looked sick. "The doors closed," I talked louder, "and the lights went out. Nobody could get in. People were banging on the doors because they could hear people on the inside screaming. When the doors opened hours later, everybody in the store, every cashier, every customer, every greeter, everyone was just dead." "The videos were all blank," Davis said as he walked with me. "No evidence, just all these people bleeding, slaughtered, dead." 2 months later, I said, it happened again. This time at a Walmart in South Carolina. People got in and it couldn't get out. Everyone died. I came to the big sliding front door. I filmed my reflection. "I woke up one morning and all the stories about this happening were gone," I said. Everything that had been on the internet about it was gone. There were websites about this. People talked about this. We were all so fucking scared of this. And now, nobody remembers. No one talks about it. "Except us," said David. "We're it. We'd go to these stores, the ones where it happened. We try to see if anyone else is here, if they remembered. That's how we met, standing around in a parking lot, trying to see if the other person standing in the parking lot is there for the same reason. But we haven't met anyone else in almost a year, and we're getting worried." "About me," Vaughn said quietly to the camera. "I'm not remembering as well. Things are starting to fade." "And if they fade for him," I said, "what does that mean for us?" He stared
Behind
at
us,
the
the
window
store
of the
sign.
store, at the long expanse.
"What do you think happened here?" asked
I
Davis.
remember they said it was government testing, I said slowly. "I think I remember some thread on Reddit, some guy saying he was in the army and they had tested something that caused a kind of super madness. But the thread vanished in seconds. A mod deleted it. There was another whole site up saying it was Moloch, that these sacrifices of some sort. I remember thinking it was something else, something worse." "Nobody's here," said Vaughn. "Let's go back to your place, Davis. We can edit the video." "What's the third thing?" Davis asked once we got back in the car. I was in the back seat listening to the radio. "What? You said people thought it was a government or that thing, Moloch." "Right, but you said there was a third thing." "I can't remember," I said quietly. My hair was in my face. I didn't push it away. We drove through the suburban landscape and the car paused at a red light. "But do you know what scared me most?" I asked. Forgetting it, Vaughn smiled. "I don't think it'll be bad once I forget. Then I won't know. It's just the forgetting that's bad." "No, it isn't that. We were stopped near a shopping center. You see that grocery store? Moore's? I loved that place," sighed Davis. "They had the best deli. I hated when they went bankrupt." "What if they didn't close because they went bankrupt? What if they closed for a reason we can't remember?" No one said anything else as we drove by the dark and closed store. It was April, and below us lilacs grew in the cold, dead ground.